Okay, in the Z transform, next two problems are going to be determine the Z transform and region of convergence for the following time signal, and also you have to sketch the region of convergence, and also we have to observe where is our poles and zeros in the Z plane. Here the two problems given in this, the three problems actually. First one is of x of n, it's given as delta n and delta of n minus k and delta of n plus k. We'll go with one by one. The first is given as x of n is equals to delta of n by using of a z transform equation, that is x of z is equals to summation n varying from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z raised to minus n. Therefore x of n is of delta of n z raised to minus n, but delta of n exists only at n is equals to 0. We have come across this, where is our delta function is going to be existing at n is equals to 0. If it is of n point at only at 0, you'll be getting your delta of n function. That's what's therefore, and at n is equal to 0 means just you substitute for n is equals to 0. X of z is equal to be delta of 0 z raised to 0, that is going to be equals to 1. Z raised to 0 means again it will going to be 1 only. Means the region of convergence is the whole z plane. Means here it is shown real axis and imaginary axis of a z plane. The whole z plane is of our region of convergence, and no zeros and poles are going to be existing for this problem. Next, in the same way, we'll go for what is our, for the input, x of n is given as delta of n minus k. Just you substitute in the z transform equation, that is delta of n minus k. Then, where is our actual delta of n minus k is going to be existing? It's going to be existing at n is equals to k. When n is equals to k means k minus k, it will be 0, delta of 0, you will be taking the signal. For that reason, and at n is equals to k, then only you will be getting the signal. Therefore x of z is going to be equals to 1 into z raised to minus k. Means substitute, you have to substitute where is n is there you have to substitute as k, that is equals to, I can write as 1 divided by z raised to k. What is the region of convergence? It is also a whole z plane, and here where is our pole is zeros are not there, but pole is going to be existing at z is equals to 0. Therefore a pole is going to be existing at the origin. There are k represents the poles at the origin. If k value is of 1, then one pole is going to be existing. If k value is of 100, then 100 poles are going to be existing at the origin. It depends on the k value, we can decide of that. In the same way, for delta of n plus k, substitute in the z transform equation. Here also the same. Where is our delta of n plus k is going to be existing? For n is equals to minus k. Therefore x of z is equals to z raised to minus of minus k, z raised to k. You will get the region of convergence is nothing but the whole z plane. Then this is only, you will not get the denominator part will be 1. Therefore only you will be getting as the zeros, the numerator function. Therefore how many zeros are going to be existing? Based on the k value, the number of zeros we can decide of. Here just for a analysis purpose will be taken here as z is going to be equals to 0. Therefore a 0 is going to be existing at the origin. 0 is indicated by a small circle. This is one problem. Next problem, find the z transform of unit step sequence and plot its region of convergence. That is x of n is equals to u of n. Here use the z transform equation. X of z is equals to summation n varying from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z raised to minus n, where x of n is of u of n into z raised to minus n. Summation, based on the u of n function, we can tell that the limit is varying from 0 to infinity. Therefore, summation n is equals to 0 to infinity 1 into z raised to minus n. Therefore, then by using of the formula, we can write that 1 divided by 1 minus z inverse. This I can write as, just you write instead of z inverse, I can write as 1 by z, take the LCM, and denominator, it's going to be in numerator part. So I can write as z divided by z minus 1. While going for the region of convergence, where you have to go after after simplification of the formula, by using of the formula, what's the equation you will be getting, from that you have to take the region of convergence finding. Okay, that is, here it is of only of z inverse. Z inverse mod of z inverse is less than 1. Therefore, from this I can tell that mod of z is greater than 1, means our the magnitude value is 1, means unit circle you will be getting. Okay, our region of convergence is greater than z, means outside the unit circle you will be getting off. Then from this, after solving the equation should be in terms of z. Then I can find out how many number of zeros and poles are going to be existing for our given equation. From this, the zeros based on our numerator value, z is equals to 0, means at the origin you will be getting the 0. Then the number of poles is going to be represented for the characteristic equation of a denominator part of a x of z, z transform equation. Therefore, poles are going to be z minus 1 is equals to 0. Therefore, z is going to be equals to 1. This is one problem. Next, find the z transform for the signal x of n is equals to 1 divided by 2 power n u of n minus 2. Here x of n signal is given. Just you go for your z transform equation, substitute for the x of n, that is what it is given, that you have to substitute. Therefore, 1 divided by 2 power n u of n minus 2 z raised to minus n. Then based on the u of function, then you have to substitute where our limit is going to be existing, that the information is going to given by our u of n minus 2. Means from this we can decide that the limit is going to be existing for n is from 2 to infinity. Then 1 by 2 power n z raised to n. This here it's going to be using of our power in a common, that is 1 by 2 z inverse whole power n. Then by using of the formula, where our summation varying from 2 to infinity alpha raised to n, it can be written as alpha raised to 2 divided by 1 minus alpha, where mod of alpha is less than 1. Then based on the equation formula, we can tell that x of z is going to be 1 by 2 into z inverse whole square divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse. Then solve for this. 1 by 2 whole square means 1 by 4. Then solve for this, you will be getting as 1 divided by 4 into z, z minus 1 by 2. Here it is written as 1 by z. Here I can write as 1 divided by z square. Based on that, you can go for this. Here it's going to be, then z get cancelled, so you'll be getting as 1 divided by 4z. Here z is taken LCM, z minus 1 by 2 you will get. Then the result of convergence is going to be from this equation you have to take. Then 1 by 2 z inverse is less than 1, or else I can write as 1 by 2 is less than mod of z, or else mod of z is greater than 1 by 2. It's indicating that the circle is having the radius of 1 by 2, and our region of convergence is going to be existing outside this circle. Then from the equation you have to go for where is our poles and zeros are going to be existing. The zeros are going here. We can't express the numerator part in terms of your characteristic equation, so you will not get any zeros. Number of zeros are already 0. The number of poles are going to be z is equals to 0, or else z minus 2 is going to be equals to 0. Means at origin you will be getting 1 pole, and at 1 by 2 you will be getting one more pole. Two poles are going to be existing. This is one problem. Next problem. Find the Z transform for the signal x of n is equals to 2 raised to n u of minus n minus 1. As usual, same. Go on substituting for your by using of your Z transform equation. Substitute for x of n based on the u of function. Go for the limit. Here the limit is going to be varying from minus infinity to minus 1. Then change the limit. If you change the limit, your power are going to be inversing operation. Powers are going to be inversed. Then summation is going to be varying from 1 to infinity 2 raised to minus 1 into z power n. By using of the formula, you can substitute here as 2 raised to minus 1 z divided by 1 minus 2 raised to minus 1 into z. Then this 1 by, I can write 2 inverse as 1 by 2. Here also 1 by 2. Take the LCM and go for the simplification process. You will be getting as minus z divided by z minus 2. From this, our region of convergence we have to take from here. That is 2 inverse z is less than 1. Therefore, mod of z is less than 2. Means our circle is having the radius of 2 and our region of convergence are going to be existing within the circle. Here it is going to be existing. Then the zeros from this equation, zeros are going to be 0 only. At z is equals to 0 means at origin you will be getting 1 0. Then if we consider for the denominator part, then z minus 2 is equals to 0. Therefore, z is going to be equals to 2. Means at 2 you will be getting 1 pole. This is one problem. Next, find the z transform x of n is equal to 1 by 2 power mod of n. This you do as assignment. Already in a general form, we already explained this. Same thing, just here value it is given instead of alpha. Alpha raised to mod of n was there. Here 1 by 2 mod of n is there. That's it. Go on. I hope you can do of this problem. Next we will go with a small theory part where we are going to telling how a inverse Z transform. We already come across what is inverse FT and inverse DTFT. From the Z transform you will be getting what is the input signal. The from inverse Z transform means we are converting from Z domain to the time domain function. In the FT DTFT, from frequency domain to the time function, here is from Z domain to the your time domain function. We are going to converting by using of our inverse Z transform. In this case, the recovery of time domain signal x of n from its Z transform x of z by using of the equation x of n is equals to 1 divided by 2 pi j integration of x of z raised to n minus 1 dz. But it is very tedious to carry out this integration. It is difficult for us if we go for by using of the integration. If I go for solving the problems, for that reason we are going for alternate methods to find out what is our x of n signal. The two methods are going to be partial fraction expansion method and then power series expansion method. If I go with the partial fraction expansion method, to use this method it needs a good knowledge of several basic Z transform pairs and different properties of the Z transform. The basic pairs of a Z transform and also what are the properties we learn that has to be using in while you are going to use of our partial fraction expansion method. That's what here they are telling. Then considering x of z equation as x of z is equals to b of z divided by a of z. The b of z equation is taken as summation k varying from 0 to capital M b k z raised to minus k divided by summation k varying from 0 to n a k z raised to minus k. If I expand this equation, I will be getting as, so just use substitute for k values here in the equation, then you'll be getting as b naught plus b1 z raised to minus 1. It's going on. The last value is going to be bm z raised to minus m divided by 1 plus an z raised to minus 1, and last value is going to be an z raised to minus n, where a naught is equals to the 1. Based on that condition we wrote here. If m, capital M, the upper limit of the numerator and the lower limit of the function, that is m, is less than n, we can use the partial fraction expansion method directly if the order what it is going to be, in this case the order on the z inverse. If it is m is less than n, if it is like that, then we can use the partial fraction expansion method what we learned on our PU based. The directly we can substitute and you will be getting of the result. But when it's of m is greater than or equals to n, then a long division method we have to go for. Therefore, x of z is equals to summation k varying from 0 to m minus 1 ck z raised to minus k plus b, a long division method. After that, what you are going to do doing this, that is b tilde of z divided by a of z, you will be getting of, where the numerator polynomials b of z, the inverse, has order 1 less than the denominator of the polynomial a of z. From this method, well, from long division method, the order is going to be lesser compared to your numerator part. That's what the meaning. Then applying the partial fraction expansion for this whole function. While going for the problems, you will understand how we are going to solve these problems. Then partial fraction expansion of x of z with the simple poles. If I am going for just here based on the number of poles, how it is going to be, it's not necessary for us how we are going to be solving here. We will be using of our what we learned in the PU based to how a partial fractional expansion method, AB values, ABC values, how you are going to be finding the same method we will follow instead of going for this, how it is going to be. Okay. Then the next method is of power series expansion method. The power series are going to be expanded like x of z is equals to summation n varying from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n into z raised to minus n. If I expand this, I'll be writing as x of minus infinity z raised to infinity plus, if I go with the intermediate values, plus x of minus 3 z raised to 3 plus x of minus 2 z raised to 2, it's going on, then plus x of 0 plus x of 1 z raised to minus 1, it's going on, and you'll be getting at the last value as x of 0 then z raised to minus 0. By comparing the given equation, z transform equation, the corresponding discrete time sequence x of n, because of the coefficients of z raised to minus n in the sequence of values x of n. The advantage of this method, if I follow this method, is the ability to find the inverse z transform of the signals that are not in a ratio polynomials. If I go in the partial fraction expansion method, it is in terms of numerator and denominator, but if I go with the power series method, you will not get any ratio value. You'll be directly will be getting what is the input signal from this power series expansion method. That's what the advantage when we compare with the partial fraction expansion method. Next topic, a small topic, is of transfer analysis of LTI system. The Z transform plays a very important role in the analysis and the representation of the discrete time LTI systems. Those, and then for that reason we'll be learning some transfer analysis of our LTI system. Then for the first in this is of transfer function and the impulse response. Consider a discrete time LTI system having impulse response as h of n. This already we learned in our 2 modules what is meant by x of n. Okay, h of n is of our impulse response. Then I can represent in a block diagram as the h of n is our system For this, we will be giving an input of our x of n and you will be getting of output as y of n. Then let us will consider of the equation where our output y of n is giving as h of n is going to be converted with our x of n. It is in terms of time domain we are going to be representing as a convolution. If I am going to applying for z transform, after the z transform you will be getting as y of z is equals to h of z into multiplication, that is of x of z you will be getting. Then where is our x of z is of z transform of the input, that is x of n. Y of z is of z transform of the output, y of n. Then h of z is of z transform of the input impulse response, that is h of n. Then h of z is equals to y of z divided by x of z. Then h of z is referred to as system function. We call h of z as system function, or else we will be telling the name as transfer function. Keep in your mind that we will be calling h of z as system function or else the transfer function of the system, and this equation is valid for the z for which for the non-zero values. Then second in this only is of relationship between transfer function and the difference equation. Consider discrete time LTI system for which the input and the output satisfy the linear constant coefficient difference equation of the form summation k varying from 0 to n a k y of n minus k is equals to summation k varying from 0 to m bk x of n minus k. Taking z transform on both the sides, then I can get as summation k varying from 0 to n a k z raised to minus k, here minus is there, minus k y of z is equals to summation k varying from 0 to m bk z raised to minus k x of z you will be getting. Then taking y of z outside, here x of z outside, then transfer function is going to be y of z divided by x of z. From this equation I can write as summation k varying from 0 to m bk z raised to minus k divided by summation k varying from 0 to n capital N a k z raised to minus k. This is your transfer function. Now a small problems based on our relationship between transfer function and the difference equation will go for here. Find the transfer function and the impulse response of the described by the difference equation, that is y of n is minus 1 by 2 y of n minus 1 is equals to 2 into x of n minus 1. This is the given equation. Next what you have to do, taking z transform on both the side, then I'll be getting as y of z minus 1 by 2 y of z into z inverse, that is equals to 2 into x of z into z raised to minus 1 z inverse. Then from this you take y of z as a common and remaining is of 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse, that is equals to 2 into z raised to minus 1 x of z. Then transfer function h of z is equals to y of z divided by x of z, that is going to be equals to 2 into z inverse divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z raised to minus 1. Then inverse z transform is going to be based on this. What we can write, h of n is equals to 2 into 1 by 2 power n minus 1 u of n minus 1 you will be getting off. Then one more problem is of y of n minus 1 by 4 y of n minus 1 minus 3 by 8 y of n minus 2, that is equals to minus x of n plus 2 x of n minus 2. First you have to go for taking z transform on both sides. Y of z is minus 1 by 4 y of z z inverse minus 3 by 8 y of z z raised to minus 2 is equals to minus x of z plus 2 x of z into z inverse. From this, you take y of z as a common, that is 1 minus 1 by 4 z inverse minus 3 by 8 z raised to minus 2. From here, x of z you take common, then you will be getting as minus 1 plus 2 z inverse. Then transfer function h of z is equals to y of z divided by x of z. From this, we can write the equation as minus 1 plus 2 z inverse divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 1 by 4 z inverse minus 3 by 8 z raised to minus 2. Therefore, this is nothing but our h of z only, and we are taking the factor for this. Then I will be taking as 1 plus 1 by 2 z inverse, then 1 minus 3 by 4 z inverse. Then for the equation, we will be using of our partial fraction expansion method. Then I can write as h of z is equal to c1 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2 z inverse plus c2 divided by 1 minus 3 by 4 z inverse. Therefore, from this, find out your c1 and c1 2 value. For c1 you will be getting as minus 2 and c2 you will be getting as 1. Then substitute in c1 c2, then you will be getting as minus 2 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2 z inverse plus only plus 1 divided by 1 minus 3 by 4 z inverse. Then taking inverse Z transform, we will be getting as minus 2 minus, here minus 1 minus of minus should be there, but here plus is there. I can write as minus 1 by 2 power n u of n plus 3 by 4 power n u of n. Then from the both the terms, I can take u of n as a common. So left out part is of minus 2 1 minus 1 by 2 power n plus 3 by 4 power n into u of n. Next problem is of a causal LTI system described by the difference equation, that is y of n is equals to y of n minus 1 plus y of n minus 2 plus x of n minus 1. Find the system function h of z, plot for poles and zeros and region of convergence, also determine the impulse response. The given equation is there that you have to return as it is. After this, keep y of terms one side and x of terms in your RHS. That rearrangement is done. Then take the Z transform. You will be getting as y of z minus y of z, z inverse minus y of z, z raised to minus 2 is equals to x of z, z raised to minus 1. Then y of z you take as a common here, 1 minus z inverse minus z raised to minus 2 into that you have to y of z should be taken common, that is equals to x of z, z raised to minus 1. Then h of z is equals to y of z divided by x of z, that is going to be equals to z inverse divided by 1 minus z inverse minus z raised to minus 2. Take the factors for this. You will be getting as 0.62 and minus 1.62 you will be getting. Okay. Then I can write as z inverse divided by 1 plus 0.62 z inverse 1 minus 1.62 z inverse you will be getting. Then the pole zero equation, here z inverse is equals to 0, as z is equals to 0 means at origin you will be getting 1 0. Then number of poles are going to be, these are the values only. Therefore 0.62 minus 1.62 you will be getting off. This is what your region of convergence and poles and zeros location. Then since the system is a causal, the ROC must be outside the circle outermost pole. So your region of convergence are going to be existing outside this circle, and the circle is having the radius of 1.62. Then h of z is equals to take this equation, then use your partial fraction expansion method. Then c1 divided by 1 plus 0.62 z inverse plus c2 divided by 1 minus 1.62 z inverse. Then find out what is the values for our c1 and also of our c2. Then you'll be getting for c1 as minus 0.45 and for c2 as 0.45. Then substitute for c1 co2 in the equation. H of z is going to be minus 0.45 divided by 1 plus 0.62 z inverse plus 0.45 divided by 1 minus 1.62 Z inverse. Then taking the inverse Z transform, we'll be getting as minus, this is as it is, constant value, minus 0.45, then minus, here plus is there, minus of minus, minus 0.62 power n u of n plus 0.45, 1.62 because already minus is there, 1.62 power n u of n. Then u of n is taken common, then 4.45 is also taken common. The left out part is of 1.62 power n minus of minus 0.62 power n. This is your inverse set transform, and it in terms of your impulse response, and this is in terms of your transfer function.